Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, party people, with another edition of Hip Hop and Barbershops. We're going to continue our awesome conversation about some of our favorite hip hop groups. Not artists, individual groups. So let me give you all my second installment. This group came at a point where I was really getting to know myself in high school, and just when that swag started to build, and just that confidence and just kind of saying what you want going into college, I'm gonna go with the Dipset.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with the Dipset right now.
Ooh.
They're not one of my favorite groups, but I really appreciated the Dipset. Just the confidence that they exuded, wearing whatever you wanted, Cam, like selling drugs. That wasn't my thing, especially at that early age. I really didn't know how to break down no P. I didn't know how to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand the math. I didn't know any of that. So when they're just talking about it, I was like, all right, you know, so like I don't do that sell drugs, but that's not my thing. But just the flow, the style, the sense of fashion, and they were also actors, you know what I'm saying? I just really appreciated at that time that type of music, because you gotta think, Juvenile and those boys, like, that wasn't my type of music. Juvenile, Master P, that's when Lil Wayne and them started coming out. That was like my preferred style, you know what I'm saying? So when the Dip came out, it was just refreshing. They changed the way people looked for like 2-3 years, the way people spoke, you know what I'm saying? And they just had that little wittiness in their music, and it was just very carefree, so I appreciated the Dip. Dipset. First car I brought was Diplomatic Community Double Disc. That was the first album I had to listen to in my very first car, 88 Honda Accord.
Word. So VA, what you got on deck, man?
I'm going with Outkast.
Ooh.
I'm going with Outkast.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say Outkast to me was the first mainstream installment of the South having their own voice.
Oh, no question.
Their own sound.
Without question.
We had UGK. They were dope, but they were Southern rappers on a New York sound.
Yeah.
So they were dope. I'm not taking anything away from them, but when we look at the South as a independent voice, an independent sound, for me, that was Outkast.
The authenticity.
Agreed.
Yes, Aliens for me was what it was, and that was another one that was the tape that was being bootlegged in school. you had, let me borrow your ATL tape. Take it home and dub it and bring it back. Like, that was the joint that was going around in school at the time.
Yes.
But it was a whole nother sound sonically that had not been heard from the South. We were on the Woos and we were on Lost Boys, and it was a boom bap era when they decided to drop that record, and it was just so dope to hear AT Aliens.
Yeah.
And it was just a totally different sound. It was a great representation and a great start to the South, the South's journey to really taking over this music.
Absolutely. Definitely a pivotal point for that was when they also won Best Rap Album that year at the Source Awards for Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music.
Yes, sir.
And Dre, that's the famous one where Suge Knight also had his situation go down with Puffy and all that, with the come to death row thing. But when Dre got up there, when they were receiving their award, people were booing, everything like that. And Dre just turned around. He said, y'all can say whatever, but the South got something to say,
Right.
And they went ahead and they did what they had to do. But if you're interested in knowing about that sound sonically, go to Netflix, check out The Art of Organized Noise. That was the production team behind that early Outkast sound. It's a great documentary. You will not be disappointed if you go check it out. So if you want to check it out, check it out.
Speaking of Outkast, I just want to chime in real quick. Their sound was so different that I didn't even like kind of want to listen to it. Honestly, it was so different because you know you're just accustomed to that, you know, like. But it was so different, and I didn't appreciate it. More importantly, until I was older, and then I could just hear what they're saying out, and then I just started really just understanding how the way flow works. And I was like, yo, these was crazy talented.
Yeah.
So I had to have a moment of honesty real quick.
So I'm gonna take my next group. I'm gonna take it out to the West Coast. So I'm gonna talk about the world's most dangerous group, NWA. Definitely groundbreaking brothers from Compton, California. Nobody really knew about Compton. We knew about like LA, you know, but then these dudes was coming like, we coming straight out of Compton. You know what I'm saying? We're like, where's that at? You know what I'm saying? And then
it was there.
And then just the songs on that album, you know, straight out of Compton, you know, F the Police, which was ahead of its time. That was something that brothers on the West Coast had been experiencing a lot of. Mm-hmm. You know, we got it over here too. There's police brutality and stuff, but not on the level that they were dealing with it.
And the harassment.
You know, right. So then once we saw, you know, the Rodney King tape, we were like, okay, so that's what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, and the way that, you know, they came together was amazing, groundbreaking group. Nobody was really talking like that on records at the time. And these dudes just came out of nowhere, really.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, they just came out of nowhere, you know, and just shut it down. Like literally, everybody had on Oakland Raiders stuff, and we was not living anywhere near Oakland or California, period. Okay, so I mean, the influence was crazy. Definitely one of the groundbreaking all-time favorite groups, NWA. Y'all already know what those initials stand for. I ain't even gotta say.
Wow.
Nah, definitely.
How do I follow that up? Alright. One of my all-time greats. The Rock. ROC. The Rock. That's just my time where everything was clicking in my life. They were just ill. Hov was ill. I really like Bleak for those singles they had, Beanie Siegel, and the rest of them. Freeway, I really liked Freeway at a moment, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like that whole team, primarily Jay-Z, but I did like the group. So they're my favorite. They're my favorite.
Okay, all right. Will, what you got?
I think he got me there. Oh, No Limit.
Ooh.
No Limit.
Wow.
They were.
Hit me with the.
They were the epitome of. I'm gonna show you how to do what you want, and not what you're told.
Right.
They still were a group that was more of a northern production type, you know, at the time when they first dropped. But they had content that was nothing like anybody else. Like when you talk about Mr. Ice Cream Man,
mm-hmm.
And it was slow, and it was soulful. It was just they had records that you just hadn't heard delivered the way they delivered it. And then from a business standpoint, it was like, yo, these cats literally do whatever they want. You know, sold 1 million copies out the trunk.
Right.
They are the epitome of entrepreneurship in the music industry.
I would agree with that 100%.
Like those were the first guys that you saw an artist actually have other artists under him publicly. Like it was out in the open, like Masterpiece is the artist, but he's also the label head, and he got 1,000 guys under him, and they're just as successful as he is.
Right, exactly.
Because there are some dope cats that came out of No Limit. Mystical, Fiend, Mia X. I ain't gonna say his brother here. It's like Silk the Shocker to me. He was the worst one out of the group. But Mr. Magic, C Murder. Like there was some dope cats that came out of there, and they literally did what they wanted in the music industry.
Wasn't Snoop Dogg signed to No Limit at one point?
He had a production deal with them, but that was like way late in their career.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say by the time he did that, it was the new No Limit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was I think his transition from Death Row when he did that.
What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. When we come back, it's time for It Ain't Hard to Tell.
Barber Time is serving others, people who are not able to make this trip, people who are not able to pay to get on a flight to come here, people who are not able to even have the understanding that they need to be at an event like this. Barber Time brought it. Barber Time is the reason why that I am able to speak to the masses, because it's you guys' venue, your camera, your mics that let me speak louder than just standing here at this barber convention. It's time for you barbers, I'm calling your name. It's time for you stylists, I'm calling your name, to prepare yourself for the opportunity, because the opportunity is coming. And I'm telling you, Barber Time is the best media, social media for the barbers out there. Listen, watch Barber Time, because this is what we do, baby. This is the barber industry, this is what we do, and this is how we get down. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
And Barber Time all the time.